Have you ever felt like you've hit rock bottom? That moment when the world feels like it's crashing down on you and the weight of your failures is just too heavy to bear? I know that feeling. We all do. It's a cold, lonely place. But I'm here to tell you something you might not believe right now. Rock bottom is the most solid foundation you will ever build on. Let me tell you about a young woman named Clara. From the time she was a little girl, Clara had one dream: to be a world-class violinist. Her grandfather, a kind man with hands weathered by time and music, had given her his own violin. It wasn't just wood and strings. It was a legacy, a promise. She practiced for hours every day, her fingers calloused, her shoulder aching. The music wasn't just sound, it was her soul speaking. Every note was a piece of her heart. She poured everything into preparing for the most prestigious music competition in the country. This wasn't just a competition, it was her ticket, her validation, the culmination of a lifetime of sacrifice. Her family had pooled their savings, her friends had cheered her on, and her teacher believed she was destined for greatness. The pressure was immense, a constant hum beneath the surface of her music. The night of the finals arrived. The concert hall was a cathedral of silence and anticipation. When her name was called, Clara walked onto the stage, the spotlight a warm, heavy blanket. She took a deep breath, raised her bow, and began to play. The music flowed, a torrent of passion and precision. It was flawless, magical. The audience was captivated, hanging on every note. She was soaring, lost in the world she was creating. And then it happened. In the most complex, rapid passage of the piece, her finger slipped. A single, jarring, discordant note ripped through the melody. It was a tiny mistake, almost imperceptible to most. But to Clara, it was a thunderclap. Her heart plummeted. Panic, cold and sharp, seized her. Her hands started to tremble, her bow quivering against the strings. The music, once a soaring eagle, became a wounded bird, faltering and stumbling. She finished the piece, but the magic was gone. The silence that followed was deafening, heavier than any applause. She didn't win. She didn't even place. As she walked off stage, the polite, pitying applause felt like stones being thrown at her. That night, she didn't just lose a competition. She felt like she had lost herself. The violin, her most cherished possession, now felt like a symbol of her failure. She placed it in its case, locked it, and shoved it under her bed. The silence in her room was a painful echo of the music that was no longer there. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Clara drifted. She avoided her friends, her family, and especially her teacher. The joy she once found in life was gone, replaced by a hollow ache. She felt like a fraud, a disappointment. The world, once vibrant with the color of music, was now a dull, monotonous gray. She was at rock bottom, and she couldn't see a way up. One rainy afternoon, her grandfather came to visit. He didn't say much. He just sat with her, his presence a quiet comfort in the storm of her despair. He didn't ask about the competition or the violin. Instead, he told her a story about a kintsugi artist he once knew. Kintsugi, he explained, is the Japanese art of repairing broken pottery with lacquer mixed with powdered gold. The philosophy behind it is that an object's history of breakage and repair makes it more beautiful, not less. The cracks are not something to hide. They are part of its story, proof that it has lived, that it has survived. He looked at her and said, "Clara, you are not broken. You are just a little cracked, and those cracks are where the gold will go. They will become your strength, your story." That night, something shifted in Clara. His words echoed in her mind. Hesitantly, she pulled the violin case from under her bed. Dust had gathered on its surface. She opened it, and the familiar scent of old wood and rosin filled the air. She picked up the violin, its smooth, cool surface a comfort in her hands. She didn't try to play a masterpiece. She just played a single, long, clear note. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. It was a start. Clara began to play again, but this time, it was different. She wasn't chasing perfection anymore. She was chasing honesty. She played through her pain, her disappointment, her fear. The music was raw, emotional, and more powerful than anything she had ever played. telling a story with every note. Her failure had stripped away her arrogance and left her with humility and a deep, profound understanding of her craft. She started small, playing at local cafes and community events. She wasn't seeking applause or validation. She was seeking connection. She played for the joy of it, for the love of sharing a piece of her soul. People were drawn to her music. They didn't just hear notes. They felt her story. They felt her resilience, her hope, her journey from the depths of despair to the light of self-acceptance. One evening, a famous conductor happened to be in a small cafe where she was playing. He wasn't there for a performance. He was just grabbing a coffee. But when he heard her music, he stopped. He listened, utterly captivated. He heard not the mistake of a competition, but the heart of a survivor. He heard the gold shining through the cracks. He approached her after she finished, and that conversation changed her life again. But this time, it wasn't about a single competition or a grand prize. It was about a journey. He saw in her a depth that no amount of flawless technique could ever replicate. Clara's story isn't just about a violinist. It's about all of us. We all have our broken note moments. The failed exam, the lost job, the relationship that ended, the dream that crumbled. We all face moments that make us want to put our violin under the bed and never touch it again. But that fall is not the end. It's the beginning of your kintsugi story. It's the moment you get to decide if you will let the cracks define you or if you will fill them with gold. True strength isn't about never falling. It's about how you rise. It's about gathering your broken pieces and creating something even more beautiful, more resilient, more you. That failure, that heartbreak, that rock bottom moment, that is your training ground. It's what teaches you empathy. It's what builds your character. It's what gives you a story that can inspire others. Don't run from your failures. Embrace them. Learn from them. Let them be the cracks where your light, your gold, shines through. So today, whatever you're facing, I want you to remember Clara. I want you to think about kintsugi. Your journey, with all its bumps and breaks, is what makes you a masterpiece. Pick up your violin. Play your note. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be yours. Rise, and let the world hear the beautiful, resilient music of your comeback. Thank you so much for watching and for letting me share this with you. If this story resonated with you, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more content like this. Your journey matters, and we're here to walk it with you.